Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We welcome you to the 2018 UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame luncheon here in the Bernie Center. We welcome you and we thank you for coming together today to honor UNCW's student athletes, coaches, administrators, and contributors. Today is the 12th induction of the UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame. And there's something to say about that. It's about family, it's about UNCW, and it's about celebrating the athletes that have been in our program and the ones that are coming, playing now and coming in the future. We are a family, we are Seahawks. So welcome. At this time, I'd like to introduce today's inductees. Please welcome Becky Brzonski-Ogden. Our second inductee, Carly Hughes Malinichik. Now our third inductee, Brad Knighton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kate Milling-Kling. A round of applause for our four inductees. You may be seated. At this time, I would like to call on UNCW's Athletic Director, Jimmy Bass, for some welcoming remarks and comments. Jimmy?
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, and welcome to UNCW. I am pinch hitting for Chancellor Sartorelli this morning. He sends his regrets that he couldn't be here, but as many of you know, he is scheduled to undergo a bypass procedure next week at Duke, and so he's in the process of getting ready for that, and I hope that you'll keep the Chancellor and his wife Kathy in your prayers in the coming weeks as he goes through that procedure and recovers from that. He loves our student athletes here at UNCW. He and Kathy come to all the games all the time. He particularly, being from Brazil, is a soccer expert. Is that right, Coach Heaney? And so, he regrets that he can't be here today. This is a wonderful occasion in the life of the university and the life of the Department of Athletics. We do this every 2 years, and it's just a real honor to recognize excellence. Excellence when these folks were here academically, excellence when they were here competitively, and now excellence in their life after UNCW, and that's what we're here to celebrate today. And Becky and Brad and Carly and Kate, welcome home, and we hope you enjoy the ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. At this time, we would also like to recognize the current members of the UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame attending today's special event to support the newest inductees. We have a nice-sized group here today, so when I call out your name, please stand to be recognized. From the class of 2002, powerful swimmer Barack Erdem. From the class of 2004, basketball standout Dave Wolf. From the class of 2004, representing late athletic trainer Terry Middlesworth, Nancy Nam. From the class of 2010, All-American swimmer Dan Gallagher. From the class of 2010, slick fielding infielder Bill Harris. From the class of 2010, outstanding catcher Bruce Cavanaugh. From the class of 2012, volleyball and women's basketball great Sheila Bowles. It's my honor to introduce next our former Seahawk men's soccer and men's tennis coach and a great friend of UNCW, Larry Honeycutt, for our invocation.
It's great for me to stand up here for just a moment because I look out and I see these inductees and some of the others, and I feel like I'm about 35 years old again. That's a great feeling, Dave Allen. Okay. Let us pray and give thanks. Heavenly Father, we come before you today to give you honor and praise. You are the source of all that is good. You are the source of all of our blessings. Thank you for every gift we have received and continue to receive. We are grateful for the opportunity to be here. We are thankful for Becky and Brad and Carly and Kate as they are being recognized for their service and dedication to UNCW athletics. We ask for your hand of blessing on this event. Continue to guide and direct us. We ask that you would bless this food that has been prepared for us, and may all that we do this day and every day be for thy honor and glory. Amen.
Thank you, Larry. At this time, we will let the head table go to the buffet first, so you can go ahead and get your food and be ready to go with the program. And then I will come around and release tables, so just give us a few moments. In the meantime, let the fellowship begin. Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, once again, we want you to continue eating. If you have not finished, please enjoy your desserts and continue to finish your meal. We'd like to begin with our induction ceremony here in just a few minutes, so we're going to begin the program once again. Before we get started with that, I'm kind of a baseball guy, played junior varsity baseball here way back in the late 70s, and I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Bruce Cavanaugh again. Bruce is one of our inductees, and Bruce has come in, so give him a warm welcome. Another baseball inductee, former coach at Tulane, did a great job in baseball throughout his career, and please welcome Rick Jones. So, before we learn a little bit more about our inductees today, we'd like to tell you a little bit more about the UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame. So let me share just a little bit of the history. The UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame was established back in 1998 to honor individuals who have brought positive recognition to this university. It's open to individuals who have made outstanding contributions in one of the following areas. Number one, as a superior competitor. Number two, as a teacher coach with a distinguished record. Number three, as an administrator who has made a long-term exemplary contribution through strong leadership. And number four, as an individual who has brought distinction to the university's athletic program in other ways. Following today's induction, the Hall of Fame will include 52 members from 12 different sports here at UNCW, along with 7 benefactors and an athletic trainer. 52 total inductees. We've been doing this for a long time. We're a young university. We should be proud of what we're doing here to recognize our athletes. So please, a round of applause for those 52 inductees who have come into our Hall of Fame. Let's learn now more about our inductees today. Today's first honoree becomes the first women's golf alumnus to enter the pantheon of Seahawk athletics. A native of Northeast Pennsylvania, she swung her way to a sparkling career that resulted in numerous accolades from 2002 to 2005. During her time at UNCW, this gifted golfer won 5 collegiate events and led the Seahawks to 6 team championships. She was named one of the top 25 players in the history of CAA women's golf during the league's silver anniversary. Today is actually her 3rd Hall of Fame honor. She was inducted into the Erie chapter of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame in 2015 and into the Northeast Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame last summer. Let's find out more about today's first honoree, Becky Brzezowski Ogden.
With a stroke as pure as the mountain water and the cool demeanor to match, Becky Brzezowski Ogden possessed the perfect skill set to become the first women's golf inductee into the UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame.
Becky was just epitomized what we think about a student athlete. You know, outstanding student first. She was one of our best student athletes from grade point average, was a academic All-American 4 times, and then she led the team in scoring and was one of our best golfers ever. So I think I'm just really thrilled that she's our first inductee.
A native of Northeast Pennsylvania, Ogden played for the Seahawks from 2002 to 2005. She racked up 5 individual victories and sparked the Seahawks to 6 team championships during her outstanding career.
Becky was very accurate. She may not have been the longest hitter, but she was extremely accurate all through her bag. She had an outstanding, sharp, short game. Just very good touch around the greens, great putter. Becky's strengths lie in that. You know, if she didn't have length, she was very precise with her long game, even using longer clubs. She could hit her 3-wood on a par 4 or on a par 3 closer than some people could probably hit their 5-iron or 7-iron.
And Becky is super stoic. So if you were looking across the fairway, you couldn't tell. But it also, as someone a little bit younger looking at her, it was neat to see Becky just always control her emotions very well in any situation. And but she could definitely have fun and goof off, but on the golf course it was business.
Ogden earned Big South Medalist and Player of the Year honors in 2004 and CAA Player of the Year accolades in 2005, leading the Seahawks to NCAA regional appearances 4 straight years. In 2004-2005, she ranked 26 in the GolfStat rankings, the highest for an individual in program history.
Just was a very fierce competitor. You know, she, I think of her when I watched her those 3 years I had with her, she was cool as a cucumber under pressure. She had like ice in her veins. If you wanted somebody on your team, if you needed someone that could make that clutch putt to win, it was Becky. You wanted her on your team. You know, and that was the one thing when you watched her, very calm, very patient, but she was just a fierce fighter. Like she would always be grinding it out on the golf course.
Ogden excelled in the classroom as well. She was a regular on the Dean's List and was selected for the CAA Commissioner's Award, UNCW Golden Seahawk Award, and NGCA Scholar Athlete Award 4 times. In 2004-2005, she received the Chancellor's Cup, the highest academic honor for a UNCW student athlete.
Well, one thing about Becky and one of her former teammates was they loved Celine Dion. So in the van rides, we had to listen to Celine the entire 5 hours, 4 hours, every version, every album, and she would sing. So when it came down to the student athlete talent show, she did a duet with one of her teammates in French. And I thought that was like unbelievable. But to number one, to do it in French and to sing a song was, that's one of my favorite memories of her.
Becky loved Celine Dion and her and Amelie, but they kind of brought my love for it out. And actually, I went to Las Vegas to see Celine Dion. I mean, so she just created that legacy and love of music. And so it was something we shared and bonded over, as cheesy as it sounds. But it also connected us in a way. We really loved it.
Ogden's singing talents may have been questionable, but her ability to crunch numbers was undeniable. Today, she works as a tax accountant in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Becky, please come to the podium now. I'm sorry Celine's not here to give you your award, but Athletic Director Jimmy Bass will make this special presentation.
If she's the tax attorney, we're going to let her talk to the Seahawk Club guys to figure out the new tax laws for our donors.
Well, thank you so much, Tom, for the kind introduction. Watching that video just brings back so many great memories. You know, as I've been preparing for today, been thinking about all of the great memories here and all the friendships and just people that I've met over the time, and it just brings back just, you know, happiness. So I just, you know, thank you so much for putting this together, because it definitely, you know, brings everyone here, you know, a sense of what it was like when I played golf here. I would like to thank the UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame Executive Committee, especially Chairman Joe Browning, for selecting me as an inductee for this year's Athletic Hall of Fame. It is such an honor to be inducted as the first women's golfer. I want to congratulate Carly, Brad, and Kate for their induction this year. It is really special to be included with them today in this induction class. Their contributions to UNCW's softball, soccer, and swimming programs are truly commendable. Thank you, everyone here, for coming today and celebrating all of our accomplishments. At an early age, my family knew I had a passion for the game of golf. At 5 years old, I would ask my great-grandmother to go play putt-putt. After 18 holes, I would ask her, can we play another round? And we would play another 18. My love for putt-putt continued, and I shortly was asking to compete in weekly competitions. It was then I realized that something I loved to do could be so much more. At age 7, I picked up my first real golf club with the encouragement of my grandparents. I have to admit that driving a golf cart at the age of 7 was quite a thrill, maybe even more so than driving a golf ball 150 yards. I only crashed into my grandparents' fence once, and it did not deter me from playing golf or getting my driver's license either. Growing up as a youngster in Erie, Pennsylvania, I have many fond memories of volunteering at the Erie Charity Golf Classic at the Coqua Club. One year in particular really made an impact on me, though. It was the year that I was the standard bearer for John Daly. I loved the intense competition I saw with my very own eyes, and I knew I wanted to make a career out of golf. Several years later, I was able to compete in an elite field at the U.S. Women's Amateur at the very same course. Similar to today, I had many family and friends in the crowd to support me. During my high school golf career, I played in many golf tournaments locally, regionally, and nationally in the American Junior Golf Association, Junior PGA Series, and Junior World tournaments. I met many friends that I still connect with today, and it's such a joy to remember that. My first place win in Monroe, North Carolina on the AJGA Tour catapulted me to a scholarship here at UNCW. It was here where I met Jan Mann, my former golf coach at UNCW, where she was scouting with her fellow coaches from Wake Forest and UNC Chapel Hill. I wanted to play for a Division I golf team, and Jan made my decision to attend UNCW very easy, since she was an honest, caring, and welcoming individual. UNCW was also where I met the love of my life, Harvey, who frequently caddied for me in many golf events. I have a wonderful 6-year-old daughter, Alexis, and another delightful daughter, Sophia, who is 2. Alexis is already following in my footsteps by playing golf with her dad and I every chance she gets, and teaming up with me in the parent-child tournaments in Charlotte. Our mother-daughter team placed second when she was a 2-year-old, and then again when she was 4, not too bad for a toddler. During my freshman year at UNCW, I knew I wanted to eventually pursue a career in accounting or finance. I double majored in these concentrations at the Cameron School of Business and really enjoyed many of the professors who taught these subjects. The tenured staff really prepared me for the working world. I was fortunate enough to intern in state and local tax at Grant Thornton and eventually became a full-time hire there. I then accepted a tax position at SPX Corporation, where I worked as an income tax manager for 8 years, working on a diverse range of federal, international, and state taxes. I currently work in Rock Hill, South Carolina as an income tax manager at 3D Systems Corporation, which is a 3D systems printing company, but I still try to hit the links as often as I can. I still continue to play competitively and have clinched the club championship at Longview Country Club in Charlotte. Of the 3 athletic Hall of Fames that I've been inducted to, this one is truly the one most closest to my heart. It was UNCW who took me in to be my family away from home. The Wilmington community has been so generous to the golf program. Landfall, Cape Fear, Porter's Neck, Magnolia Greens, and River Landing, just to name a few, all opened up their courses and facilities to us to develop our games. UNCW was where I was able to hone my game and prepare myself for professional golf. I played on the LPGA's Symetra Tour and traveled all across the country in my car and met many golfers from all over the country and many other countries. I was fortunate enough to play amongst the greats, including Paula Creamer, Morgan Pressel, and Michelle Wee. There are so many individuals that made an impact during my time here at UNCW: professors, classmates, coaches, and teammates. There is one person that is here today that really stands out: UNCW women's golf coach Cindy Ho. I am very appreciative of the time Cindy and I have spent together. Cindy, in my opinion, is one of the hardest working coaches around. There was never a time when she was not available to help. I remember her always asking the team what we needed to play well the next day, whether it be getting to the course as soon as the driving range opened or having bananas and granola bars on hand to keep our energy up. Cindy always put others before herself. I am appreciative of my family for saving every extra bit of money to take me around to junior golf tournaments and to hopefully earn a college scholarship one day. It was the success in those tournaments that eventually led me here to UNCW. I am thankful that this university believed in me. I am thankful for Jan Mann, who took a chance on a girl from Erie, Pennsylvania. I am thankful for Cindy Ho, who puts her athletes before herself. Thankful to have made an impact to put UNCW on the map and become a regular on the invite list for the NCAA regionals. Thankful for a supportive family that drove me from tournament to tournament to highlight my skills. I would specifically like to thank my grandmother, my mother, my stepfather, and my husband for their encouragement all these years and the support they've given to me. I would like to thank the UNCW Hall of Fame for all of your time and dedication, for hosting such a wonderful event today for myself and the other inductees. This induction has been a very humbling experience, and I am very proud to be standing in front of you all this afternoon. Since I was a young girl and picked up my golf clubs, I have been living my dream. I am hopeful that my girls see what the game of golf can bring to their lives and maybe be Seahawks one day. Thank you all for coming, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Becky. Now our second inductee, a long ball hitter and durable catcher for the softball team from 2006 to 2009. Today's second honoree was one of the most feared hitters during her four-year career with the Seahawks. The Apex, North Carolina product became the first Seahawks softball player to earn CAA Player of the Year honors in 2007, after leading the CAA and being among the nation's top run producers. She still ranks first in school history and career slugging percentage, home runs, and total bases, and holds single-season records for slugging percentage, home runs, total bases, hits, and RBIs. Like Becky, she becomes the first representative of her sport here at UNCW to be enshrined into the Hall of Fame. Stepping up to the plate now is Carly Hughes Malinichik.
A feared hitter with the defensive prowess to match, Carly Hughes Malinichik displayed all the tools needed to fashion an ultra-successful four-year career with the Seahawks softball team from 2006 to 2009.
Carly was by far one of the most talented athletes I've had the privilege to coach in my 18 years of coaching collegiate softball. She was a leader on and off the field during her 4 years at UNCW and was respected by both her teammates and coaches.
The Apex, North Carolina product became the first Seahawks softball player to earn CAA Player of the Year honors in 2007 after leading the CAA and ranking among the nation's top run producers. With 45 career home runs and a .374 career batting average, she was named to the CAA's 25th anniversary team in 2009-2010.
Her contributions on the field began her first year on campus. That 2006 team set the school record in wins and was the first team to compete in a CAA championship. Carly was a huge part of that team's success. Throughout her career, she led the program in almost every offensive category, making her by far one of the most prolific hitters in UNCW history and one of the most feared to our opponents.
In 2007, Malinichik was singled out by the NCAA as the toughest batter to strike out after fanning just 3 times in 172 at-bats. When her stellar career drew to a close in 2009, she had been named All-CAA 3 times, including first team in 2007 on the strength of a CAA record .448 batting clip with 18 home runs and 62 RBIs.
Being awarded CAA Player of the Year during her sophomore year was a first for the softball program, which is why I feel it is only fitting that she be the first softball player to be inducted into the UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame.
Statistically, Malinichik still ranks first in school history in career slugging percentage, home runs, and total bases, and holds single-season records for slugging percentage, home runs, total bases, hits, and RBIs.
I think that she was definitely a player that had that talent that you just can't teach. She just came into the game and she could just see that pitcher, and she could tell you what the pitches were before they were even coming. But the thing I loved about Carly as a player is when she would step up to the plate, you knew she was going to get a hit and was the person you wanted at the plate when you needed that turnaround and that momentum to change, and she was just an awesome hitter.
Milenichik, who lives in Fuquay-Varina with her growing family, earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Management and Leadership at UNCW. She begins a new position as an account manager for Granger in early February, using the leadership skills she developed on the diamond at Bozeman Field to bring out the best in associates and customers each day.
Her last game, I got to watch her have a home run, and it wasn't just a little 200-footer. She hit the ball about 240 at Georgia State, and to be able to watch her with that at-bat, to be able to walk off from her last game as a senior and have a home run, and that was her legacy. It was an amazing thing to be a part of, to see her.
Carly, please come to the podium and receive this award from Athletic Director Jimmy Bass.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad Becky got to go first because I'm super nervous about this. She did an excellent job, so I hope I do that as well. I'd like to thank the UNCW Hall of Fame committee as well for even considering me for this, and my grandfather who kind of got the ball rolling. You'll learn more about him in a minute. And also thank my fellow inductees, or congratulate you, and I wish you the best on your speeches. So I'm going to start with a little history about how I got to UNCW. So in July 2005, I received a call from Coach Melissa Gerald to come visit UNCW to see what they had to offer. School was starting in August, so as an athlete, that's kind of late to be committing to where you're going to go, and my decision I had to make pretty fast. So we came down, and Coach Gerald toured the facility and the suites, and kind of laid it all out there for me, and showed me what UNCW had to offer. So a few days later, after coming to have lunch with Coach Gerald and tour the facility, my mom and I were sitting down and we're discussing my position and where we're going to go. And I'm sorry, I've lost my paper here. So we went through the negatives and the positives about UNCW, and again, I had very little time to make a decision. So one thing Coach Gerald shared with us was that, I could get a potential scholarship and have the opportunity to earn a full scholarship the next year. So I knew my mom was ecstatic about hearing that, right? They had spent years traveling with me, so that was definitely something that she was looking forward to me. But for me, the excitement was knowing that I had the ability to come in and earn a starting position that first year. From a very young age, I've had a competitive drive to win and be the best at whatever I was doing. So I knew, given the opportunity, I would be able to earn that spot. Shortly after the lunch, like I mentioned, I called Coach Gerald and let her know that I had made the decision and I was coming down to Wilmington. As it turns out, I made a pretty good choice. Coach Gerald and her staff made me feel right at home. The coaching staff knew exactly how to push my buttons and motivate me to push myself harder than ever before. In that first season, my freshman year, we advanced to the conference tournament and had the most wins in program history. We had a lot of fun, and we made a lot of great memories that are still fresh in my mind. My sophomore year would turn out to be the best year for me personally. That year, I won Conference Player of the Year and was recognized as NCAA's toughest batter to strike out, which both were a huge honor. I was proud to share that recognition with my coaches and my teammates. My junior and senior season brought a lot of program changes. Those 2 seasons seemed to have flown by, and while they were tough, I wouldn't trade the time I had as a player for Coach Gerald for anything in the world. I cannot express how grateful I am for the opportunity I had to be coached by her and for the lasting relationship we have created. My athletic career started long before attending UNCW, and as I mentioned earlier, I have a bit of a competitive side, to say the least. A few years ago, Nike released a commercial featuring a little girl saying, "Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you." And that phrase pretty much sums up my childhood growing up with an older brother. Anything he could do, I had to do better. We spent countless hours throwing balls in the house, playing every sport in the yard, and breaking everything of any value that my mom kept in the house. He chose to play baseball, basketball, and football, so naturally, I followed suit. He was my favorite role model, and I will cherish those memories for a long time. Sorry. As a kid, I never fully realized the number of things my parents sacrificed for me to chase my athletic dreams. Whether it was coaching every team, buying me all of the best equipment that I just had to have, or taking me to private lessons and driving me all over the country to play, they did it all. Our athletic careers, my brother and I, were always a priority, and for that, I will forever be grateful. When I was 15, I started playing in showcase tournaments almost every weekend. In the summer, that usually meant leaving out on Thursday to play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. My parents could not always leave on Thursday, so as a solution, my grandfather started traveling with me. Anyone who knows my grandfather knows that countless hours in the car could really be considered as torture. I'm kidding. From a very young age, we have had a bond that is indescribable. He has been with me every step of the way, academically, athletically, and now professionally. I have loved every minute of my success at UNCW, but he loved it more. My success as a student athlete and a professional and now a mother was not and has not been easy, but I have been able to accomplish so many things with the support of my family, and I thank them for their endless love and encouragement. After reaching my goal of becoming a student athlete, it was time to focus on the lifetime goals I had set. My plan for life had always been becoming a mom, so a year after graduating from UNCW, I married my high school sweetheart, Josh Malinicek, and we have two beautiful girls named Harper and Penelope. We are already repeating the cycle. Harper plays whatever is in season, and I'm sure Penelope will follow in her footsteps. I am excited to pass the torch to my girls and give them the same love and support I was so fortunate to have. In closing, I would like to thank all of the staff at UNCW who played a vital role in my success. I had several coaches, athletic trainers, and professors who spent countless hours with me. Being a college athlete is like having a full-time job, all while going to school, and having a good support system is key to your success. I thank UNCW for the opportunity to represent them as a student athlete and now as a member of the Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly. Today's third inductee is only the second men's soccer player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, following a stellar career in goal for the Seahawks from 2003 to 2006. He joined soccer pioneer Gene Borowski on the list of honorees. The Richmond, Virginia native started all but 2 games between the pipes for the Seahawks, playing 6,891 minutes, a record for the program's goalkeepers. He ranked second all-time in goals against average, 1.08, games played in goal, 75, and games started in goal, 73. He is the first Seahawk to make a Major League Soccer MLS roster and is in his second stint with the New England Revolution after playing for the Philadelphia Union and Vancouver Whitecaps. Ladies and gentlemen, the man in the middle, Brad Knighton.
Brad Knighton, one of the most lockdown goalkeepers and competitors in the history of UNCW's men's soccer program, joins all-time great Gene Borowski in the hallowed company of the UNCW Athletic Hall of Fame.
So I was a freshman coming in, and Brad being a senior, didn't really know what to expect with coming into the college game, and Brad was just on another level. So it was impressive. It was uplifting. It was good to be around him. His great footwork, which is something that you look for in a goalkeeper. You want to be able to play back to him and trust him, and you could always do that with him. Not to mention, just saves, good hands. I mean, just all around everything.
Knighton from Richmond, Virginia, started all but 2 games between the pipes for the Seahawks from 2003 to 2005, playing 6,891 minutes, a record for the program's goalkeepers. He ranks second all-time in goals against average, 1.08, games played in goal, 75, and games started in goal, 73.
Well, initially he was very, his reading of the game, and he was very vocal. That was what kind of drew me to him initially. When I watched him play in his club, he played for Richmond Strikers, and so I jumped on right away. And you know, he knew that this was going to be an opportunity where he could maybe get some minutes right away as a freshman, and he did. He came in and took the position. He was very commanding. He was very good with his feet, and you know, all those things were a real kind of draw for me.
Knighton was a 2-time All-State selection and 2-time All-CAA pick, including first team during his senior year in 2006. He was named to the NSCAA Adidas All-Region team following an outstanding final season with the Seahawks.
Honestly, he was so good in pretty much all the games. I don't remember having too many bad ones, so it's hard to pick and choose and say, you know, I think that's a sign of a good goalkeeper, Joe. And if someone has an unbelievable game and then they average the next, you know, I think that consistency part is something, you know, because we were trying to change the culture, and he had a big part and a big factor in how that started.
Knighton made his debut on soccer's highest level on March 28, 2009, when he started for the Revolution against the club's longtime rival, New York Red Bulls, in a raucous MLS pairing at Giant Stadium.
You know, look at Brad and how his staying power in the league. There's not many guys who've stayed in the league in the MLS for as long as he has, and he's very well thought of in the club and in the locker room, and you know, he never lets his team down when he plays. He's you know, someone that I think has shown he's a real true professional, and has applied himself in that way to be a really top level player.
Knighton's enjoyed a solid professional career with 4 different clubs. He represents the first Seahawk to make a Major League Soccer roster and is currently in his second stint with the New England Revolution after playing for the Philadelphia Union and Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Knighton and his wife Brittany reside with their children outside Boston. The talented Knighton has spent the last 10 years on soccer's highest level, a fitting result for one of the soccer program's biggest stars ever.
Brad, please join us at the podium for this award from Jimmy Bass.
How are y'all doing? Thank you very much for the introduction. This is indeed a very special day, and I feel privileged and honored to be here. First off, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee, Mr. Browning, for everything you guys have done for me. This was completely unexpected. I got a call from Mr. Browning late last year and was kind of curious as to why he was calling me. I hadn't spoken to him in 6 or 8 years and thought I had done something wrong here at the university. But no, once I answered the call and he told me what it was about, I was beyond humbled. I was beyond excited, and you know, I couldn't wait to be here. So thank you for that, Mr. Browning and the Hall of Fame Executive Committee. It kind of took me a while to figure out kind of how to start this speech. You know, there's a lot of people that I wanted to thank. There's some things that I wanted to say, but I really wasn't sure kind of how to put it on paper. And then I thought, you know what? Brad, just be you. Go out and do what you normally do. So here it goes. When I wasn't in a classroom or my weekly 10 hours of study hall or on the field, most of you knew I was enjoying being close to, if not the center of attention at most UNCW athletic events. So I thought it would only be appropriate for me to begin my speech the Seahawk way. C. 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 Great. I know it's very cliche, but I want to spend my time today kind of thanking some of the people that have helped me make this dream finally become a reality. So first off on the list, my parents. Hi, Mom. My dad couldn't make it, unfortunately, but I know he's very proud of me and he sends his best. From the countless hours of driving in a car to games, practices, and ID soccer camps, they were there for me at the drop of a hat. Looking back now and seeing how they did for my brother and I is absolutely incredible. I can't thank them enough for that. I know everyone says they have the best parents, but I honestly owe everything to them. Growing up as a kid, you come to find out there are always learning moments in life. When you have done something wrong or made someone sad or broken something you probably shouldn't have by kicking countless balls around the house, you end up having to reach out to your parents and sit down for a conversation, whether it be good, bad, ugly, but they always found the right way to explain things. I never really agreed with it most of the time, but they found the right way to say it. But throughout, most of their lessons in life, there was one thing that kind of stood out to me the most, and that was the gift of believing in myself. I wouldn't be standing here today if that had not been given to me at such a young age, and I thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. Everyone in life goes through ups and downs. It's part of life. To have the strength and willingness to believe in yourself through the difficult times and through the good times, but to be able to look at yourself in the mirror each and every day and know that everything's going to be all right, whether it be academically, whether it be socially, whether it be something with your family. You always knew that you could look at yourself and say, I'm going to make this better in any way possible. And that's kind of how I live my life. Secondly, some of my youth soccer coaches. I was fortunate enough to be able to grow up and play with some of my coaches named Carlos Martinoli and Carlos Simoina. I want to thank them as well. These two coaches really played a role in me developing not only as a player, but as a person. I didn't start playing goalkeeper until I was 12 years old. I was a forward growing up, and like any other kid, you wanted to be able to score all the goals and be the guy. Well, our goalkeeper got hurt in one game at a tournament, and they kind of asked who wanted to hop in goal. So I reluctantly raised my hand and said, it can't be that difficult. I caught in baseball, so what's the difference? I was quick to find out there was a huge difference. From the movement, from the communication, from everything. Calling pitches with your fingers is a little bit than organizing 10 other players in front of you. But I soon found out, and they were able to help me with that. And I owe everything to them. Thirdly, one of my first teammates, one of my first ever roommates, and one of my best friends to this day, Mr. Henderson. How you doing, Ricky? I'm very glad you could be here today. Not many people know Ricky and I share the same birthday, February 6, 1985. Happy early birthday. Ricky and I go way back, from our playing days playing against each other, back in club soccer, to being roommates, to being classmates, and to being teammates here at UNCW. And I'm very thankful to be sharing some of those memorable experiences with you, and like I said, I'm thankful you're here today. I thank you for not only being with me through the good times at school and in my classes like public speaking or helping with my Spanish, or our annual Super Bowl birthday celebrations at Ray and Thomas's house. Hey guys. Spring break adventures in the Bahamas, working together in the summer at the Sun Spree, Chops Up. Nothing like saving a little extra money for Hibachi Express, am I right? No, but there's always good times, and like I said, there's always bad times, like the early morning Cooper runs with Coach Heaney, the early morning Trask Coliseum stairs with Mr. Heaney, or the shuttles with Mr. Mayu at 5:30 in the morning before music class. Remember those, Rick? But no, in all seriousness, Rick, I've told you this before, there's a reason we met freshman year and we were put together from the start. We have built a bond over these years that not many people can top. I have always been there for you, and you have always been there for me. I mean, you did introduce me to my wife, so thank you for that again. I will be forever grateful, and thank you again, Rick. Fourthly, my coach here at UNCW, Coach Heaney. Words cannot describe how much you have meant to me since our lives crossed that Monday, July 1st, 2002. Sorry. That moment the phone rang, you expressed interest in me, and my life changed forever. You've always been there as a coach when I needed coaching. You have always been there as a listener when I needed guidance. And you have always been there when maybe I hoped you hadn't been there in some instances. But through it all, there's no one else I would have wanted to respect more than you, Aiden. I came into college as a young boy, and I feel I left as a man. I've tried to shape a lot of my life from you and how you've coached me and teaching me about values that you've tried to instill in most of your players: honesty, integrity, and loyalty. You also taught me how to be a family man. No matter what happened, my teammates knew we had each other's back anytime, any place. That's on the field, in the classroom, or a night out in Wilmington. We were always there for each other, not only during my time at UNCW, but since I have left also. You and your family, Steph, Millie, Maeve, Harry, you guys are like family to me. You have been my home away from home for several years, inviting me into your house for several days in January, almost every year. So I can train and be ready to go when we start preseason camp like we just have. I know sometimes you put me to work, like taking down Christmas decorations, moving trees into the attic, etc. But I think it's a fair trade for daily training and a night's lodging. So thank you. Lastly, love and thanks goes to my wife, Brittany, and my kids, Olivia and Owen. Unfortunately, they could not make it here today, but my in-laws, Carol and Ed, are here. Thank you. I met my wife, Brittany, here at UNCW our junior year. I never thought I would meet someone like her in my life. She has been my backbone, my heart, and my world since we met in 2006. From UNCW, moving to Boston, Philadelphia, Vancouver, and now being back in Boston for 4 years, she has been by my side through every step of the way. I couldn't have asked for a better person to spend the rest of my life with, and I'm forever thankful. In closing, I want to thank UNCW, the athletic program, the men's soccer program, and the alumni, and the Athletic Hall of Fame alumni. I would also like to thank my former teammates, roommates, teachers, advisors, and athletic trainers. All of you have played a role in my life in recognition of this honor, and I am truly grateful and honored. Thank you, and go Seahawks.
Thank you, Brad. Our fourth and final inductee remains one of the best all-around performers the women's swimming and diving program has ever produced. Amassing 13 individual CAA titles during a 4-year career from 1998 to 2001. During her junior year in 2000, she dominated the CAA water, winning the CAA's 50 freestyle, the 100 freestyle, and 100 butterfly individual titles, along with the 800 freestyle relay and 400 medley relay crowns for swimmer of the meet and swimmer of the year honors in the CAA. She was later named recipient of UNCW's prestigious Thomas V. Mosley Award for that year. This Columbus, Ohio student athlete is the 4th women's swimmer to splash her way into the Hall of Fame. Let's meet one of UNCW's most accomplished swimmers ever, Kate Milling-Kling.
Watching Kate Milling-Kling cutting through the waters of the Seahawk Natatorium from 1998 through 2001 was like watching poetry in motion. Nearly 18 years later, she remains one of the best freestylers the program has ever produced.
Whenever I think of Kate, I think of a highly competitive athlete, one who loves to work hard. I mean, she definitely wanted to work hard because she knew that was the way she was going to get better. And when it came time to racing, she loved to race. She was a real thoroughbred.
The Columbus, Ohio swimmer was no flash in the pan. She racked up 13 individual CAA titles during a stellar 4-year career and joins all-time greats Janet Johnson, Amy Lewis, and Adrian Sutton as swimming luminaries among UNCW's best of the best.
She was a very good high school athlete coming out of Columbus, Ohio, and she was very talented. And so we knew coming in that she was going to be someone who could really help get our program going and really help us tremendously in the events that we had, plus all the relays. And like I said, she came in and she was not afraid to work hard. She was very conscientious. She didn't miss practice. She got in there and she worked hard and she raced every single day. And as a result, she progressively got faster. And she did all the things that needed to be done to put her up with the elite athletes.
An all-around student athlete, Kling burst onto the scene in 1998 and was named the CAA's Rookie of the Year after winning the 100 freestyle at the CAA Championships in Chatham, Virginia. She successfully defended her title at the 1999 CAA meet and added the 50 freestyle gold to her cash as the Seahawks won their second consecutive CAA women's crown.
There were any number of things that I can recall on Kate that really bring to mind how great she was, and they all put a great smile on my face. You know, as great an athlete as she was an even better person. I mean, she was very, very giving to the team. She really wanted the team to be good, and she put a lot of effort into helping to make the team better. And as a result, she made people around her a lot better. We had just a great host of athletes, and Kate just did such a wonderful job for us. I can never thank her enough for what she did for our program.
Kling's junior year in 2000 turned out to be her finest. She won the 50 freestyle, 100 freestyle, and 100 butterfly individual titles, along with 800 freestyle relay and 400 medley relay crowns, en route to being named the CAA Swimmer of the Meet and CAA Swimmer of the Year. As a result, she was named recipient of UNCW's prestigious Thomas V. Mosley Award.
Yeah, she's humble, like a lot of good leaders are. I remember one of her last years, either junior or senior years, I know she was struggling through some injuries, but never let on, never complained in practice, really worked through injuries just like a true champion would, and came out swimming some of her best swims her last years. And she was an inspiration to all of us, a true key member of like I said, both teams for the program. And it was just inspiring to be around her and her presence and her greatness.
Kling earned her Bachelor of Science degree in marine biology in 2001 and currently resides with her husband Chris in Worthington, Ohio, where she teaches science at Groveport Madison Middle School and still shares her love of swimming through youth coaching.
You know, today they talk about superheroes. I'd put a W on Kate Milling, and she'd be Wonder Woman. She really would.
Kate, please join us at the podium for your award. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you so very much. This is really, really a nice honor, and the movie was great. The picture's funny. I feel very honored and humbled to be amongst such great student athletes. Congratulations to the other inductees, Becky, Carly, and Brad. I'm very excited to share this day with you today. I was fortunate enough when I was a kid to have some options as to where I could go to college. I went on a few college visits and was absolutely positive that I was going to go to the University of Miami in Florida. And then I came on a visit here and met Coach, and my decision was made. I knew right away that I was home and never looked back. When I think about all the great memories that I have from here and some of the opportunities that have presented themselves since being here, I've been so fortunate to have, I have a lot of people that I need to thank. I want to thank the town of Wilmington and the surrounding communities for welcoming me and making me feel like it was home. I'd like to thank the UNCW, the Chancellor, and both current and previous, and the faculty for not only providing me an excellent education, but also so many great learning opportunities. The marine biology program, I have amazing memories and some really great, had some really great times. Thank you so much to the UNCW Hall of Fame committee and Joe Browning and Jimmy. Thank you so much for embracing me as a student athlete and really helping me to enjoy my time and a nice, rewarding career. Thank you very much to my teammates both on the men's and women's swim teams for supporting me and being with me at every practice and every meet. And there were some practices that definitely was nice to have some teammates and some friends there. My brother still doesn't believe that we swam peer-to-peer for our Saturday morning practices twice, back and forth. Dan and Barack know what I'm talking about. And all the assistant coaches and student assistant coaches that we've had, and throughout my years, I always knew that I had friends here, both on the team and amongst the coaching staff. Of course, thank you very much to Coach and Ellen. You somehow, Coach, found the perfect mix of encouraging us as swimmers to do our best and instilling work ethic and setting expectations high, but still knowing that we were college kids and just human beings, and that swimming should be fun. And that meant a lot to me. Being a swim coach now, I certainly have some pretty big shoes to fill. It was very clear from the get-go that Coach and his family accepted us as family, all of the swimmers, and that meant a lot. So speaking of family, thank you very much to my parents and my brother for traveling here this weekend and just about every weekend growing up as I was a kid, traveling wherever we were going to swim. My husband, Chris, who's here with me and was subjected to 9 hours of stories of my time here at Wilmington in the car yesterday. And Chris's parents, who couldn't be here today, but thank you very much. Again, it's just such an honor, and I appreciate everything that everybody's done, and it's just I feel great. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kate. At this time, please join me in thanking members of the selection committee for their work on today's induction. We would like for all of the members of the committee to please stand to be recognized at this time. Don't be bashful. Stand. There we go. Please give them a round of applause. We also appreciate the hard work today by our friends with Aramark and the Bernie Center, the staffs here at the Bernie Center, for helping us to make today's event such a wonderful event. Please put your hands together for Aramark and the Bernie Center. As a reminder, the inductees will be recognized during halftime festivities of tonight's men's basketball game as we take on William and Mary. The game starts at 7 o'clock at Trask Coliseum. And finally, a brief housekeeping note. Would all of the inductees please meet to the left of the head table right over here, and Joe Browning will meet you for a brief photograph session. So please do that, all of our inductees. And as we leave today, did you experience laughter today? We did, in stories that were told. Did you experience a great feeling of pride for this university and for these inductees and what they meant to our program? Yes? At times, did you tear up? Did you cry for a moment? That's because we are family, and we are together. We laugh together, we cry together, we come together, and today has been a special event, and we thank you for attending this event in honor of these inductees and in honor of those 52 inductees that we have selected to our UNCW Hall of Fame for the athletic department. So thank you so much for making our 12th induction such a memorable event. And of course, enjoy the rest of your day. Go Seahawks!